Hello, we are dealing with the Metropolitan Discipline Inception lecture series, and today we are going to deal with the isostatic, the mental maps of the metropolis necessary to understand the mechanisms, and the metromatrix application for those mental maps. No? We have already talked about how the metropolis are in location advantage points, and they are related to some kind of very strong topographic feature and ecosystems. No? And that provides a kind of reticular structure for the natural reticular structure for the metropolis. This is like the isostatic structures in engineering. No? You have all the elements that are necessary for the structure to keep on. Those are the roofs of the warehouses and this kind of industrial design, industrial architecture. No? And you cannot, if there is one of those lines missing, the whole thing will fall. So you really need the workings of the tensions within the beams and the knots to be equilibrated to make the whole thing work. The metropolis is in some way similar. No? You must have the structure of the metropolis, and you must have the design of the different aspects of the metropolis well designed. We will see that as metropolitan architecture and metropolitan acupuncture in some other of the presentations. But now we are going to focus on the structure of the metropolis. These are 9 metropolises all around the world, and those are the structures of the metropolis, the matrix, the mental maps of the metropolis. If you understand how the metropolis works, you can diagrammatic that mental map. You have here from top to down and from right to left. You have Cairo, Mumbai, Mexico, Tehran, Istanbul, Maputo, Abuja, Bogota, and Nairobi. Now, and if some of those elements is missing, that was the case of Madrid. Here is Madrid. One of the elements of that structure was missing, the M45. Now it's already built. It's a highway that links the 2 wings of Madrid metropolis, and it was missing. So in the 1995, we decided that that was the priority to make the metropolis work, and we built that M45, and it does work very well because it links the 2 different parts of Madrid that were all going through the center, and the center was under collapse. When you do this kind of design, mental maps of a metropolis, in fact, you are making a smiley. No? You are making a very simple approach analysis of a structure. And if you do that with a face of someone and you realize that there is an eye which is missing, you immediately say, we have to make that eye. No? And you design that eye. No? And for example, I did that in Santiago de Chile 20 years ago. I said, well, there is this train which is missing that will articulate the metropolis, because this is this line which is the main line. And I was 6 months ago in Chile, and I said, well, what have you done about it? And they say, well, it is being built and it will be open to the public in 6 months. So really, by understanding the metropolis and seeing what is missing, you really realize what you have to do. So you have the mental maps, which is the diagram of the metropolis, and then you have the analogic map, which is what we are used to, and they are to relate together, but the abstraction of the mental map will allow you to work decisions on the analogic. You have different scales in the metropolis. You have the metropolitan scale, the urban scale, and the urban design scale, and they have all to be related. And you have then to see what's missing and to put the elements that are missing for the metropolis to work effectively. In Madrid, we had a metropolis which has a linearity. We will see that in some other of the presentations, but it is parallel. It's in the slopes of a sierra, of a ridge of mountains, and it has the linearity of the sierra and then the perpendicular of the rivers that cross. And you can see that in the structure of the location of the different municipalities in Madrid, which are along that line, which is parallel to the mountain ridge, and then that is the blue lines, and then the red lines, which is, and you see how the different municipalities, the different towns in Madrid are located in in rows separated by 4.5 kilometers, which was the medieval figure for the legua, for the lieu, which was a medieval figure. So it's related to the size of the human being, the capacity of walking, the distance you walk in an hour, which is 4.5 kilometers. So it's an anthropometric approach to the location of the different cities within a metropolitan structure. And what we did is organize those cities within those reticular patterns, providing for the necessary infrastructures to work within them. No? We had a very simple map of Madrid in an analogic way, as you can see, and then we made a diagram of that, locating the population. The brown squares is the amount of population in every one of those municipalities, building up what exists as a network of transport and expanding that network for the expansions of Madrid, that Madrid was growing by 50% every 20 years, so it was not exploding as many of the emerging metropolises, but it was growing very fast, and we needed a lot of new land for new developments, as little as possible, because we don't want to build all over, but the necessary ones to provide for those housing for the people that really needed them. So we were able, through a diagrammatic approach, to make the decisions that the elements that were needed. And this is the most simplified way of a scheme. Let me point out that what we do is like Picasso with a painting. You have the three moments of that painting. You have the perception of what you are painting, which is the analogical approach, the figurative approach. Then you have the interpretation, which is the diagrammatic approach. The metropolis in the three plans in the bottom part of the slides are all Cairo. So it's Cairo analogic, Cairo diagrammatic, and Cairo scheme, which is the utmost synthesis that allows you to understand how really a metropolis skeleton, backbone, system works, and to understand what to do. And if someone tells you, like Gertrude Stein told Picasso when he made his painting of her, "I don't look like her," Picasso responded, "Well, you will do in the future." So really, if you understand the metropolis, you will be able to understand how it works. Now I'm going to show how this kind of mental map, metropolitan metromatrix analysis, applies to many metropolises on the world. I'm going to go very fast and just show these metropolises, but you can download them from the web page and you can study them and you can discuss that with me. I will be very happy to do so. This is Santiago de Chile. This is Montevideo in Uruguay. This is Bogota in Colombia. This is Guatemala, Guatemala City in Guatemala. This is Mexico City. This is Accra in Ghana. This is Kigali in Rwanda. This is Kampala in Uganda. This is Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. This is Nairobi in Kenya. This is Amman in Jordan. This is Cairo in Egypt. This is Tunis in Tunisia. This is the east of London, obviously in England. This is the Great Paris, from Le Havre to Paris. This is Piacenza in the north of Italy. This is Istanbul in Turkey. This is Tbilisi in Georgia. This is Baku in Azerbaijan. This is Tehran in Iran. This is Karachi in Pakistan. This is Mumbai in India. This is Ahmedabad in India. This is New Delhi in India. This is Calcutta in India. This is Dhaka in Bangladesh. This is Bangkok in Thailand. This is Jakarta in Indonesia. This is Chengdu in China. This is the Guangzhou, the Pearl River Delta in China. This is Beijing metropolis, 250 million people in Beijing, in China. This is Manila in the Philippines. You have 100 of those metropolitan metromatrix mental maps in these slides. But I want to focus in one, which is Mega York, how from Washington to Boston, you have a pattern of location of cities and huge cities and smaller cities, and as well a pattern of location depending on the ridge, mountain ridge of the Appalachians, and to the coast, to the mid of the valley, to the ports on the end of the gulfs, and then the different capes into the coast. And as you see, that has a pattern, very clear pattern, that creates a system that I am going to leave you with that music for the end. This is a partiture for a musical piece, and you will be able to hear of that. Next time we will work into the metro matrix digits, how you deal with the municipalities, and you can download this from the links which are in this slide. Thank you very much.